My hubby and I married in September 2013. We enjoyed our first year of marriage. Our disputes increased over time. He was gambling, I heard. He admitted to his actions and owed a lot of money. Still, I wanted to give him a chance, but he kept cheating. 3 months later, my bank called for collection. I was astonished and dismayed, knowing he kept gambling. A mortgage was even taken out on our residence. These hurts and disappointments made me miserable. He betrayed me, and I couldn't believe it. I was conflicted as he knelt and asked for my forgiveness. It was unclear if he would change. I requested some time to consider this. I needed time apart from him. I told him my decision, and he looked upset. He kept asking me to give him a chance, promising to reform and make amends. It was hard to leave him, but I knew it was right. Finally, I asked him to take his issues seriously. I wanted him to improve and take responsibility. Then I moved to a new apartment and started my own life. Despite suffering and disappointment, I gained hope and confidence. The experience was difficult, but I learned a lot. I learned self-defense. After 3 months, I accepted reality and asked my husband for a divorce. I resolved our financial concerns so we could divorce and start a new life quickly. One day, I scheduled a house meeting with my husband and attorney. We thoroughly evaluated our marriage debts and assets and agreed on a split. I had to deal with my failing marriage, therefore this process was traumatic. To get a fair agreement, my attorney helped me a lot. We signed the divorce. We finalized the divorce the following week, getting ready to wash up and head to bed that night. I heard someone enter, so I lifted my guard and saw my spouse. He stood motionless when I asked him why he had my house key. I became frightened. I had no idea why he was in my house. I knew he wanted my money since I had some. He suggested it earlier, but I declined. He said he needed the money for bills, but I couldn't trust him again. I knew he would gamble if he got money, worsening our issues. Seeing him made me feel worse. Once my closest friend, he had changed entirely. I was devastated. I stopped giving him money. I couldn't let him ruin my life. He promised to change, but I realized it was too late and couldn't trust him. After I refused him, he became upset and aggressive. I prayed, "God, I need your help." He apologized while asking to borrow money. Wanted to call cops. I ran to the bedroom when he wasn't looking. I was going to unlock the door when he barged into the bedroom yelling. He felt like the devil had taken over his soul. He slammed my head with the table ashtray. "I'm going to kill you," fell down. I almost got up and ran when he grabbed me again. He hit my head with the ashtray again. My resistance was exhausted. I was blurring my eyes and hearing less. I felt like I was entering a tunnel. I knew my prayers were answered. I welcomed God's love and direction. Then a bright light enveloped me and made me feel cherished forever. I truly felt like God was holding me. I can't describe my surroundings. Love from God surrounded me. I felt my soul go swiftly. It was calm and full of divine aura. Beautiful sight. My soul felt cleansed, and I had no pain or worries. A white gate appeared in front of me, and I knew where I was headed. A gorgeous angel greeted me at the gate. She grinned and brought me to a plaza. Many joyful angels gathered in the square, and I observed. Some angels danced, while others chatted. Their excitement filled the square and made me joyful and amazed. The angels told me this is heaven's welcome square. Every new soul is welcomed by the angels with a tremendous ceremony. This square of love welcomes all to God's kindness and blessing. All the angels around me were lovely. The pure brightness from their bodies warmed me. Each soul arrived in a white robe. The angels told me this was heaven's usual attire, symbolizing our soul's purity. These souls then approached a lovely fountain. After the angel poured fountain water on them, a brilliant light appeared. Next, the angels played wonderful melodies that filled the area. These souls danced to the beautiful tunes. They appeared entirely absorbed into this amazing environment, and I could feel their pleasure and joy. After the welcome ceremony, the angels led these souls to their new homes. I saw various living spaces in paradise, and each soul could choose one to start their new existence. A lush garden with flowers and trees. Here, souls might unwind and enjoy nature. A little lake with pure water was in the garden center. Here, souls might relax alone. I observed a vibrant urban city where people learnt and interacted. The structures were unique, and they could make friends here. Finally, I saw a seaside village. Blue ocean and white sand beaches. Sunlight and unique handicrafts were available in this town. Each dwelling location was unique, and souls may choose one that fit their interests and tastes. The angel beside me informed me I couldn't go to locations when I was ready to explore. I was confused, but the angel smiled and added, "You can go see the gardens here, and you can also go for a walk by the river." So we walked to the river. Every stone at the river bottom was visible in the clear water. Many individuals were discussing on the riverbank. They appeared cheerful and pain-free. Following the angel, we entered a massive library with many books. All human history was recorded here, the angel assured me. I felt serenity and contentment everywhere in heaven. Angel escorted me to another building. She informed me God owned this place. I requested the angel to let me in, immediately curious. Angel grinned, "Your time has not come. Take you back. Your mission is incomplete." Despite feeling lost, I knew it was God's will and should follow him. When the angel returned me to my body, I felt my breath and heartbeat returning. Upon opening my eyes, I felt severe discomfort. My husband was seated on the floor, bloody hands and trembling. I heard him cry and ask, "Pardon." I did what? I did what? He played this phrase repeatedly. Seeing him like way confused me too. I was too weak to talk and could only stare at him. He fell on his knees and begged me not to call the police. His voice sounded desperate and scared. I called the emergency hotline with his help. The cops were notified promptly after I was hospitalized. Malicious wounding got my spouse arrested. The divorce went quickly, and I felt like I had escaped a nightmare. I was no longer afraid since I believed I could overcome any challenge. Later, I joined a charity that helps domestic violence victims. I felt meaningful and appreciated what I had more after these efforts. I didn't know why my ex-husband quit fighting. 8 years later, I learned. Strangers called me that day. The man's voice was weird yet familiar. My ex-husband found my contact info. He kept apologizing and begged for forgiveness, stating he didn't want to go to hell when he died. I was astonished by this call. He recounted that night's scene. He was holding an ashtray and wanted to hit me in the head. Suddenly, an invisible force halted him. He saw a bright light and a white man appeared. He assumed it was God personified. This individual asked, "Are you sure you want to kill your wife?" His body was jolted and he felt electrified, not knowing how to respond. The white man asked, "Want God's forgiveness? Go save your wife." He ceased being violent after realizing his mistake. He phoned the hospital. Hearing the other end of the phone took me back to that night. I forgave and wished my ex-husband a happy life. The call brought back memories of that horrific incident but also showed me humanity's warmth. I hope he keeps improving.